I wanted to point something out, which I think is really quite intriguing. And that is the art of portrait photography. As you probably gathered by now, I am intrigued by faces more than anything else. I mean, I could be photographing a person with nothing on, with swimwear, with lingerie, with fabulous dresses. But it's always the the face, the connection that I have through my camera with the subject's face and what the person does with their face if they're a professional photographer, excuse me, if they're a professional, not editing this, so if they are a professional model, they will have several different looks that they'll present to you. I tend not to like professional looks. I like to capture the moment when I find the precise moment, the decisive moment, as a very famous photographer once stated. Um, and of course, the question that photographers, professional photographers like myself, are asked quite frequently is the same question that the professional or all actors are asked, but mostly professional actors. Um, and I like to use the same quote that I think most photographers give, as do actors. Alec Guinness is, I think, one of the first people to have said this. Somebody said to him, "Sir Alec, what's your favorite role that you played?" And he said, "Oh, I couldn't tell you that. It would make all the other roles jealous." Um, but most actors would answer the same way that I would answer as a professional photographer when I'm asked, what is my favorite photo? Can I name my favorite photo? And I would say, yes, I can. It's the one I'm going to take tomorrow. But with that in mind, with all the prep that goes into a photo shoot, you do mood boards, you often go to the scene. In my case, if I'm going to New York, I will get to the scene maybe an hour and a half, to the location an hour and a half beforehand, and I will suss out the best spots for light, for background, for just the ambiance, and whether it's conducive to what I know the model is going to be wearing if it's a fashion shoot. If it's not a fashion shoot, then it's a different together automata, or a different matter altogether. That was an old English saying of mine. However, however, there are exceptions. When I go out, and you've seen me photograph people who I just happen upon, and I say, oh, and I mean this when I say it, I say, I absolutely, absolutely have to take your photograph. And there are certain areas you can be in. New York is one of them, parts of Philadelphia, the small town that I've mentioned many, many times called Phoenixville, where the people are so receptive and they're flattered that you go up to them. And they don't think you're a creep, or if they do think you're a creep, they keep it to themselves. But you just get them in the right location, you get the right lighting on their face, and then I don't turn the shutter sound on. I keep it off so that they don't know when I'm photographing them. And I just let them act naturally. Occasionally I'll give direction, but 9 times out of 10, I will just snap, make the image when I see the moment. And I get the look in their face, in their eyes, just, oh, it's magic when that happens. Of course, the other thing I don't do is I don't look at the screen at the back of the camera. I photograph through the viewfinder, and occasionally, just at the beginning of a shoot, I will check a few photos to make sure they're in focus, the light is right, but you've got all of the necessary metering and details through the viewfinder that if you know what you're doing, if you know your onions, they will be all you need to get a decent shot. I was at New York Fashion Week a couple of years ago, waiting for my good friend Deborah Cantor, who I've mentioned, and she's been part of so many photos on this page. Or you probably aren't looking at my page, you're just probably scrolling, and I've just popped up on the screen. And outside, while I was waiting, was this absolutely beautiful work of art, young lady. I didn't have to ask if she was a model. We're at New York Fashion Week. We're waiting to go into a fashion show. She is a model. And I just went up to her and I said, "Excuse me, you are so exquisite. May I make a portrait of you?" And she agreed. And she gave me a few looks, but I asked for a particular look, which I didn't direct her. I just simply asked for this particular type of look, and she gave it to me. And as you know, if you follow me, I love black and white. There's such mystery to it. It doesn't give you the whole story, because color gives the whole story as far as I'm concerned. Black and white leaves an area of mystery. It's almost like radio versus television. And also something about black and white that doesn't date, it doesn't age. But regardless, I captured this portrait of her, went on to probably take 1,000 photos throughout the next couple of days. And then I came back to my studio here, and the first photograph was the one with this particular lady who I didn't know at the time. I still don't know. I know her name. She's a very successful model. And I will tell you right now that in my opinion, I don't know how many models I photographed. I don't know how many young models I've mentored and trained. I don't know how many photographs I have on my 4, 5, 6 backup hard drives. But I can tell you that at this point in my career, which only spans 10 years, because most of you know that I had a career before this in television and radio and in print. But this photo I'm going to share with you to this very day is the one I'm proudest of. And my point is, you never know when an opportunity is going to present itself. If you are a devoted photographer, do what I do. Do not even go to the bathroom without taking your camera. Although in my case, this is not going to see much, but I'm digressing now. Take the camera. You never know what type of beauty, whether it's nature, whether it's fauna, flora, or the humankind. You never know what you're going to capture. But sometimes you get lucky.
Just like water from a faucet.